Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. We are back with part two rankings, NBA draft rankings, of course. No, 11 through 20 with the All Rookie Podcast. We did 1 through 10. It was a great episode. Now we're back with 11 through 20. Let's go over 1 through 10 real quick in case you missed it. Still go back and listen if you did. But number 10, Kaspers Yakachunas, Trey Johnson, Asa Newell, Rashir Fleming, Thomas Sorber, VJ Edgecombe at 5, Jeremiah Fears at 4, Ace Bailey at 3, Dylan Harper at 2, Cooper Flag at 1. Now, here we are, 11 through 20. Nothing else needs to be said. Let's just get straight to it like it's nothing to it. It's going to be another interesting one, y'all. All right, starting at 20. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off with Nick Clifford. Hopefully you've heard of some of these guys. Hopefully you haven't heard of some of these guys. Introducing you to some new guys. Some of these guys are ranked in the 30s. Some of these guys are ranked in the top 10, but they fit right here in my 11 through 20 perfectly. Nick Clifford, 6'6" guard from Colorado State, averaged 19 points, 10 boards, 4.5 assists, 1 steal, and point 0.6 blocks per game, 51% from the field, 40% from three. It's rare when you see 40% for three. That's excellent shooting right there. And the only reason you see all those stats, and you say, why is he 20th? Only really because he's 23 years old. He's a 23-year-old senior. If he's 19 or 20, he's in the spot that another guy that's similar to him is ranked right now, and we'll get to him in a little bit. But Nate Clifford moves excellent with and without the ball, plays like a pro, very polished, and that's because he's a senior. But he knows how to create space and get his shot in multiple ways. He's a great shooter all around, can create his own shot, which is key. NBA teams love that. He can hit the fadeaway, he can get by his man. When I see him play, I say, what kind of role will he play in the NBA? I'm thinking a Max Christie type player um, for the Mavs now. He played at a small school at Colorado State. That's another reason why he's ranked 20th. So your level of competition and your age, but he can still be more, but we just haven't seen it against elite talent, like that. So I can't just boost him up to 10th or 11th because of those factors. So, but I think at worst, he will be putting up huge numbers in the G League. But I don't think he will need to be in the G League long. But nowadays, first rounder, Jet Howard was in the G League for a lot of his rookie season. He was 11th pick. So players it just depends on the situation you go to, whether you get minutes in the NBA nowadays. But I think he also can be like Wiggins from OKC. Or, I said Max Christie and, Jalen Wells from the Grizz. Jalen Wells was not supposed to play much this year at all, being a mid-second round pick. But it just so happened to be that way, the way the injuries and the lineup shook out, he was able to get minutes. So Nick Clifford can find himself in that situation where he's riding the bench on a team that's stacked or getting a ton of minutes on a team that is ravaged by injuries or just not that good of a team. But Nick Clifford is an excellent rebounder. He's a sneaky athlete too. He jumps higher on defense than he does on offense. He's a great shot contester anywhere on the court. Love that. And like he block threes, he'll block layups. So he's very active and alert on defense. And as the main guy on a small school, when you're the guy averaging 19 points per game, you really don't have to exert that much energy on defense. And who's going to say anything to you? So that shows you his ceiling and his ability to take coaching. And that's a huge plus in the NBA. It shows you he's a team guy because there's a lot of ego that go in guys that are the man at smaller schools, and especially a senior. And he still played his butt off. So Nick Clifford right now is 20th. And you will see a lot of these guys are interchangeable. You'll say, why is he 20 and the other guy's 15? Really, it's not much difference in these spots. I'm telling you, it's this 11 through 20 is stacked. So now let's go to my next prospect, Colin Murray Boyles, the 6'7" from South Carolina, 19 years old, averaged 17 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 1.5 steal, 1 block per game, 59% from the field, 27% from three. Now, Colin plays like a power forward, like a lefty. He's a lefty. He's got a kind of an unorthodox player. He has wild finishes at the basket at times. He knows how to get to the basket, puts his head down and just goes, but he definitely throws up some wild shots too often for me. It's like I gotta get there, gotta get there. Ugh, and that just ain't gonna work like that in the NBA. So he's gonna have to get more polished and refined at that. But he can shoot the three. Like I said, he's 27%, but when he makes it, it looks good. So he has the potential to increase that. His he has a nice form, just not the percentage. He has a little Julius Randle in his game, plays well in the post, and also can face up and get by his man to get to the rack. He doesn't really play around with the ball too much. He just gets the ball. He clearly has his mind made up where he's going, and he just gets there. And he'll get by his man because he's got the speed. And he's a great defender and hustle player. Block shot with aggression. You have to love that. But like I mentioned earlier, he plays like a power forward, and he's 6'7". So he is undersized. A lot of people have him in their top 10, around 11, like 7 to 11. For me, if he's 6'9", 6'10", sure. But being 6'7", that'll work in college a lot better than it works in the NBA. It's not many short power forwards. You have Draymond Green. Everybody ain't Draymond Green. So if Colin Murray Boyles is going to work, it's going to have to be the right situation for him to be a top 10 pick. For me, I have him safely around 19. Anywhere from 15 to 19 is a solid pick. I'm just not so sure. He's got some more improving to do, in my opinion. But he is 19 years old, so that's good. I just wish he was taller. Next, number 18. This might be controversial. Colin Knippel, the 6'7" forward for Duke. 19 years old, averaged 14 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal per game, 48% from the field, and 39% from three. We mentioned that high 3-point percentage is key. But with Conca there's nothing fancy about his game. He just knows how to score. He can get to the rack when he needs. It's just no frills with it. It's just all business. He can drive to the left or right to get to the rack. He finishes below the rim. He's not athletic at all, but he is shifty and he's a great shooter. So if he can't get all the way to the rack, he can pull up for the fadeaway and hit a jumper. Has a quick release. That's great. He's a great cutter. He's a heady player. Always working to get the ball or to get open. If you leave him open, it's over for you. He's gonna knock that down every time. I don't think he has much upside though. Most people have him fourth, anywhere from 4 to 9. I do not see that at all. I don't see the upside. I do see him coming in right away and fitting with a good team to start. Like he could start on a playoff team, right? If you put him on the Bucks, he could start right now. It's a lot of teams like that. Because they need 3-point shooting. And like I said, he does other things well. Also, but he's not gonna be the guy that's gonna change the trajectory of your team. But he's a really good piece that's going to fit. But he can create just enough space to get by you or pull up. He can play a little in the post. That's in college though. I don't know how that'll work in the NBA, but he's a good passer, good system player, very alert on defense, plays the passing lanes well, stays with his man on defense. Even if the person he's guarding is faster than him, he does stay with them. So Con Knipple, I think he's ready. I think he needs to go to a good team, in my opinion. Otherwise, he can get lost in the shuffle like a Corey Kispert. Corey Kispert, I'll compare Con Knipple to Corey Kispert at the time, and people think that's offensive. Corey Kispert was better than Con Knipple in college. Corey Kispert did it all in college. He was the man. He could shoot, he could drive, he was faster than Con Knipple. But when he got to Washington with the Wizards, they increased his role basically to a shooter because it depends on who you are surrounded with. Washington's not a good team. So, like I said, if Con Knipple goes to a situation like that, he can get lost in the shuffle. But if he goes to a good situation, and like I have him going 18th right now, that's going to be a playoff type of team. I think his career will be in a much better spot if that happens. So I know you're going to kill me for that, y'all. That's too low. Is it just right? I haven't seen anyone have him low like that, but just the years of scouting, that type of player is not used the same in NBA as he is in college. You be the judge. Next, number 17, a guy that they have ranked low. I don't know if he's rising or not, but when I saw the tape, I'm like, He should not be that low. I don't know if he should be this low. Walter Clayton, 17th on my list. The 6'3" guard from Florida, 22 years old. That's what people are not going to like, but I don't see it as a negative at all for Walter Clayton. 18 and a half points per game, 4 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal per game, 45% from the field, 39% from three. That's what we love. Now, when I was watching Walter Clayton's tape, Dick Vitale came out of me. I was like, he's a PTPer, baby. He is ready for the moment, clutch. He plays like Jamal Murray, honestly. He can hit the step back three with ease. He looks short out there at times, but if he's anywhere close to 6'3", 6'2", he'll be a good player. He can get anywhere on the court that he wants to. He's just he's a fast, tough point guard. That's what you need in the NBA. He's a leader as well. He can really shoot the rock. He has everything you need to be a starting point guard or an elite backup in the point guard in the NBA. He can get to the rack, create space, get a shot anytime, anywhere. Some people, if you want to criticize him, you can say he takes bad shots at times. But he won't have to do that in the NBA. He's not going to be the number one guy in the NBA that has to score for his team. So I honestly think it's going to be easier for him in the NBA than it was in college because he's not going to be the number one or number two guy, probably. Um, Teams knew he was going to shoot it and they still couldn't stop him. So imagine that in the NBA. That kind of player is rare, honestly. If he goes to the right situation, look out. He comes off screens, knocks down threes. He's a threat everywhere on the court. This is Walter Clayton we're talking about. He plays the game like a new age point guard, so he'll fit right in. He can hit the step back, has the crossover. Super smart point guard. He has no offensive weaknesses, including attacking the rack and in the mid range. He gets easy shots for his teammates, especially lobs, and easy looks for the bigs. He has excellent vision. On defense, if you want to criticize him, you can say he gets blown by a little too often for me on defense. And sometimes he relies on getting steals instead of moving his feet like he should. But that's probably because he works so hard on offense. He's not exerting that on defense like James Harden used to do for Houston. If you have to do it all on offense, sometimes you just let the other guys do the defense thing. But I'm sure he can get coached up on that. It won't be so easy to get steals in the NBA. Players' handles are much better. So he's not going to be able to cheat like that, like he does in college. So we will see. But that's where he has room to improve on defense. He definitely rested on defense at times, but Walter Clayton should not fall past 17, in my opinion. I'm very excited about him. Next, number 16, excuse me. I'm trying to get sick, but I don't want to. I got to get this content out to you guys. Number 16, Adou Thiero. The 6'8" forward is from Arkansas. He's 20 years old. Average 15 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 1.5 steals, zero point 0.7 blocks, 25% from three. That's the only reason he's 16th. In my opinion, he could be a top 10 talent. Adou Thiero. You may have never heard of him. Last time I saw him ranked, he was in like 32nd. That's insane. Adou Thiero is very fast. He's athletic. He's a powerful small forward. He can blow by his man and dunk on your whole team. He dribbles very well for his size. He's like a freight train when he gets the first step on you. He's gone. If he could shoot, I'm saying, like I said, top 10 easily. I think he is well worth the risk. If you're in this 15 to 20 range, if he falls further than that, it's complete steal. I think he can be a star. I mean, he dunks like a baby Vince Carter. He's very strong and bullies his opponents, and that's rare. You don't see that out of these younger guys nowadays. But Adou Thiero can play in the post or drive to the rack from the perimeter. Get him to the right coach and look out. And he does shoot it well at times. So if that gets improved and consistent, I mean, wow. Amazing prospect. He's a tremendous help defender. He loves chase down blocks. He's great at creating steals, works extremely hard on defense. And even if his offense does not improve, which I'm sure it will, his defense will keep him on the floor, especially if he's on a good team. So, like I said, 6'8" forward. I mean, his tape he just jumps out of the screen when you're watching this tape. So I don't know how he's not in everyone's top 20, but Adu Thero is a name to watch. And he's 20 years old. It's not like he's 23, 24. He's ready. Perfect age, perfect size. Look out. I mean, and like I said, this list is interchangeable. He could have been 14, he could have been 16. A lot of these guys, it's like 14.1, 14.2, 14.3. Like that's how close this 11 through 20 is. Number 15, another possibly shocking pick right here. Ranking Kaman Maluak, the 7-2 center from Duke. I have him 15th. A lot of people have him going 5 to 8, somewhere in that range. For me, he's 18 years old, averaged 8 points, 7 boards, 1 block per game. Stats not there. 69% from the field. It is good that he's shooting some threes, 20%. But in my opinion, he's just a catch and finish big man. He is a lob threat. He does well in the pick and roll. And like I said, he can shoot the three occasionally. He can finish in the paint with his left hand sometimes. He can post up, gets great position in college because he's huge. He's bigger than most guys in college, so that's not so tough to get the best position in college. But he's young. He can run the floor well enough to play a role in the league. He's not special in my opinion. Kaman Malawa. He's just big and in the right place at the right time, and that comes with coaching. Duke is going to have their centers in the right spot at the right time. But I do have hope for him because Duke center is normally, well, I can't even say that. The last Duke center played much better in the NBA than he did in college. That was Derek Lively. Derek Lively averaged 5 points and 5 boards. I think a block in Duke. And obviously we've seen what he's turned into with Dallas, and that goes along with situation. So come on, 8 and 7 with 1 block. It's like, I mean, what's he gonna do in the NBA if that's his numbers in college? But Derek Lively did do much better, so I expect Kaman to do much better. We hope, especially if he's in the top 10, because this could be a really bad pick if he doesn't do much better in the NBA than 8 and 7. That's not gonna cut it. Um, but I expect him to be like a 10 point, 10 rebound guy with a block or two. And that can help a team, but he has to go to the right team. If you go into a team where you need a center to, be Joel Embiid or Jokic, offensively, it ain't happening. But defensively, he will be a presence for you. So he will be useful. Um, but yeah, his defense will have to be elite for him to stand out in the NBA. And I think he's probably the best defensive center in this draft. But he does get beat off the dribble by faster players in the post at times, but he makes up for it with his length. He is a great help defender. His wingspan and reach help him contest shots tremendously. So he's not a sure thing for me, Kamal Malawa. People love the Duke name. They love his potential coming in. Before he got to Duke, everyone was wondering where he was going to go. It's like he went to Duke. They got the number one guy. Da, 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 da. But 8 and 7, if he's that great, you got to get more than 8 and 7. Come on. All right, number 14, Carter Bryant, the 6'8" from Arizona, 19 years old. Only averaged 6.5 points per game, 4 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 37% from three. But that was in 19 minutes per game, so there's some hope there. Now, Carter Bryant is a very athletic forward. He jumps out the gym. If you remember Gerald Green, you got to remember Gerald Green, right? I don't have a bunch of babies listening to me, right? And by babies, I mean like young guys, but But Gerald Green could jump out of the gym. If you need a newer comparison, I don't know who jumps high now, Anthony Edwards. But I saw Gerald Green when he's dunking out there. But Carter Bryant, really good 3-point shooter, which is rare for super high jumpers like that. Most of the time, you have like Gerald Green, great jumper, couldn't shoot to save his life really until he got older. So Carter Bryant being 37% from three and being a great jumper, that's that's very intriguing. That's going to be something every team is looking for, And the fact that he can play defense as well, he's checking all boxes. But Carter Bryant can be a lockdown defender with his size, length, and athleticism. Moves his feet tremendously well. Has that great wingspan that not only allows him to contest shots, but also block a lot of 3-point shots. And having that ability and also being a knockdown shooter on offense, making him a great prospect and a hot commodity. And he's being 19 years old, so that's great. And then, so I mentioned him earlier when I said Nick Clifford is not that different than Carter Bryant. Uh, and he might be a little bit better than him right now. Obviously, stats wise, he is. But you got to factor in that Nick Clifford is 23 years old and similar to Carter Bryant. And Carter Bryant is 19 years old. So in 4 years, what will Carter Bryant look like? You know what I mean? So that's why he's ranked higher. If they're both 19, they're right there, 14 and 15. But that 4 year age, this is where the age comes into factor. If they're similar prospects and one is 23 and one is 19, you're going to go with the 19-year-old every time. Because the 23-year-old could have peaked, or he could just they can have the same trajectory, but you're gonna have extra years and time with the 19-year-old. Normally, I don't care about age, but when it's close like that with prospects, that's when it comes into play for me. And Arizona seemed to not trust him that much, playing him only 19 minutes per game. That was kind of weird to me, but he seems NBA ready to me. He may need a year or two to get polished and trusted with NBA minutes, but he's a great prospect. And because his stats are not there, you might can get a little sleeper. I don't know if he's gonna fall or not. I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna go. I don't know where anyone's gonna go. I try not to pay too much attention to other people's rankings and just judge people off what I see on the film. And to me, he's definitely top 20. But you can see the rawness in his game at times. He's not as smooth as you want a guard to be on offense, but 19 years old and that unique and gifted all around, Carter Bryant has to be in your top 15, I think. But it's so interchangeable, guys. That's what I'm telling you. Age, position, that's gonna affect where people land in this draft. Number 13, let's see if you've heard of him. Danny Wolf, the center from Michigan, 7 foot tall, 20 years old, average 13 and 10 with one steal, 1.5 blocks, and 3.6 assists for a center. That's nice. And he shot 33.6% from three, people. This is why he's ranked higher than Kaman Malawak. Danny Wolf, great three-point shooter. He can even dribble and hit the step back three. As a 7 footer, what? And he can shoot jumpers. He has great skill and talent for a 7 foot big. He moves incredible. Like incredible to be 7 foot. Think about how Yao Ming used to run around out there. If you remember, it was just like, You're not gonna get that with Danny Wolf. He's running up and down the court. He can cross you up too. He can drive to the paint. He can finish very soft and with too much finesse at times. So he's got to get that out of him. But I mean, it's kind of like he's a small forward in a center's body. If I heard he played small forward his whole career and then he had a big growth spurt, I would definitely believe it. And it's extremely rare to see a center move like this as well as dribble like this. But like I said, with the softness, way too many layup and finger roll finishes. That's the only issue NBA teams may have is when he it's in my opinion. And he also plays a little bit too much on the perimeter for me. Plays more on the perimeter than he does in the paint most of the time. So he'll need to be in the right system and with the right coach because I don't know how they want him to play, but he's showing you he can do anything you need for him out there. And he's still good in the paint, but he can improve with strength and coaching. And he almost has 4 assists per game, so he's a really good passer that shows his vision, intelligence, and team-oriented style of play. He can play the guards role just as good as the bigs role when he's in pick and roll. Good shot blocker, good rebounder. Danny Wolf, number 13, teams are going to get a lot of talent in this draft, y'all. Number 12, a faller on my list because I know people have him anywhere from 6 to 10 on their list, but he's 12 on my list. Derek Queen. This might be the one I get the most feedback about. A lot of people want him to go to Washington at 6. I don't hate him, but I just go by what I see. 6'10", 245 pounds from Maryland, 20 years old, average 16 and 9, one steal and one block, 52% from the field, 14% from three. Now, Derek Queen, very unique big man. He can play the 4 or the 5. I think he'll be a 4. But he goes to work on that block. He can put the ball on the floor and maneuver his way to the basket. He can jab step, pump fake, do whatever he needs to score on his man in the paint. His has spin moves galore, fadeaways if necessary. But what I see in his film is he goes up without a plan at times when attacking the rack. That could lead to issues in the NBA. He will definitely need to get stronger and be more polished to succeed. You can tell he's comfortable in the post and has worked very hard on his post moves, but working with the NBA coach will take him to the next level. I don't think he's a center, like I said, but I do love his moves, just not his below the rim unorthodox finishes. Some, he just literally throws it up there like a prayer. I mentioned that with Colin Murray Boyles. That's not a highlight. That's not a good, like you see that on film. It's like, oh, he did this, this, and this, and threw it up there, and it went in. That's not good. That's not going to translate. So he's going to have to get more effective with that. He has nice touch in the paint in the mid range. I love his dribbling ability, which helps him get to the rack effectively and expeditiously. His discipline and moves, he is disciplined and he moves his feet tremendously well on defense. His dribbling ability is special for a big. That will help him a lot because he can go by his man quickly or pull up for the J. Where some guys struggle to back down and get great paint position, Queen is really good at it. And if he can't, he will shake his defender with his speed and juke moves. So it's controversial. I've heard people say he's Alperen Sengun. I scouted Alperen Sengun. He fell to 16 in the draft. I had Alperen Sengun at 7 in my ranking. So I was high on Alperen Sengun because of what the film showed me. The film showed me Derek Queen has potential, but that finishing has to get improved or it's not going to work. Like, it's not going to work. But the fact that it could work, I have him at 12, but like some of the other guys that I listed on this list, I'm a little more excited about them because I know they will work. But if Derek Queen hits, that'll be sweet. So, like I said, these rankings they're tough, but this is my list. I want to hear your feedback, y'all. Now, number 11, the top guy, obviously from 11 to 20, Igor Demin. 6'9" point guard from BYU, 19 years old, averaged 10 and a half points, 4 boards, 5.5 assists, 1 steal, shot 27% from three. You know he's good if he's this high on the list and 27% from three. It's just being a 6'9" point guard. It's unheard of, really. But Igor has great form on his shot. I mean, truly great form on his shot. So I think he will be a really good shooter. The percentage doesn't always tell the full story. It's just promising how pretty that shot is. Being 6'9" is what makes him special. If he's 6'3", he's nowhere near ranked 11, okay? That size and the passing is just special, like I said. But out there on the court, he moves at his own pace. He's not really fast or athletic, but he still manages to maneuver down the court. But occasionally, he will show that burst and dunk on you unexpectedly. But other time when he goes up, it's a little soft going to the basket, and he's not really able to stop and pop and fade away to get to the rim like the guy I have ranked 10th, Kasparas Giannakoulis. That's the separator for them two, in my opinion. Kasparas is a little more polished than Igor, but Igor is still a tremendous passer as well with the vision and being 6'9", like I said, that helps even more with the vision. But his passing ability is well beyond his years. He has elite and creative with the ball. It's going to be interesting to see where he lands because his future is highly, highly, highly dependent on his landing spot. Because I don't think he's going to score a lot in the NBA, but he can definitely help your team. It's hard to see him being a starter unless he becomes a great three-point shooter. It will definitely be interesting to see if he stays a point guard as well in the NBA, being 6'9". We just don't see that. I mean, Dyson Daniels was a point guard. He's like 6'7", 6'8". Josh Giddey's really tall. But I don't know. Igor would definitely be a great lob thrower. But being 6'9", that's like he is probably the most intriguing prospect in this draft class. He can turn out to be nothing or he can turn out to be an all-star. But being a 6'9" point guard with these traits and this potential, I just cannot pass up on that. That's why I had to put him at 11. Okay, guys, that's the list, 11 through 20. Let me go over it one more time in case you somehow missed one. Number 20, Nick Clifford. 19, Colin Murray Boyles. Number 18, Colin Knippel. 17, Walter Clayton. 16, Adou Thiero. 15, Kaman Malawak. 14, Carter Bryant. 13, Danny Wolf. 12, Derek Queen. And 11, Igor Demon. How do you feel, y'all? That's 11 through 20. Who have I not even mentioned yet? Y'all like, why is he not on the list? I don't know. Hey, 21 through 30 is going to be a nice list too. The NBA teams are going to be happy with this draft. All 30 teams are going to get a good guy. So it's just how they want to rank them, guys. And like I said, if you see somebody at 20, you think he should be 14, and he's like, that's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous because they are so closely ranked. This is not 14 to 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. It's like 14-1, 14-2, 14-3. That's how close it is. That's how talented it is. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me I'm crazy about Colin Knippel and Kamon Malawak this low. Tell me I'm a Duke hater. Duke fans will probably be all in my DMs. But that's the show for today, guys. Thank you all for listening and watching. Bearing with me with my voice. We made it through. Till next time, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.